Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to give an article titled, I was on a perfect date until his comment about my face caused everything to unravel. And guys, this article is written by a woman, and she's going to go through this whole thing, this whole article, telling her story, how after obviously many years of not dating, she's a single mom, I might add, and in her 40s, she goes on this date with this guy who she met online dating app or something, and she was having a great time. She really liked the guy. The guy was being what we consider to be the perfect date from women's standards. He was making her laugh. He was taking an interest in her and her life, all that type of stuff. And then playfully, he made a joke about her appearance. And then she had an emotional mental breakdown, and that was the end of that. And this whole article is here's her writing about that and sharing this experience and all that. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is to show you a perfect example of yet another double standard when it comes with women and men. Because, you see, in this article, when she tells her story about her date, this guy, at some point, after being out with her for a while and having fun and laughing, at some point he started, like she says here, he started teasing her, poking fun about her appearance. And she has this meltdown. Now, how many of you guys have ever been out with a woman, out on a date, or just hang out, girlfriend, whatever, and notice women like to tease guys? They like to playfully poke fun at guys for, sometimes it could be their shirt, their shoes, the way they eat, the way they drink, the way they talk, any unlimited number of stupid shit, just to poke fun at the guy and just basically subtly test his confidence. Because that's what it's all about, guys. I've told you countless times, I've done videos on this, women test men. Women deliberately say and do things on purpose just to see how the guy can react. Is the guy going to get embarrassed and insecure and lose his confidence over her poking fun at his shirt? Well, by her doing that, that shows her he's not as confident as he's showing off. Or not showing off as he appears to be. That's what they do. That is the logic and reasoning behind this. Okay, I'm sure many of you guys know what I'm talking about here. You've experienced that, or if a lot of you guys never realized it before, that's why they do it. But that's perfectly considered to be acceptable. But God forbid a guy does that and he starts poking fun at her appearance, shoes, purse, hair, nose, face, whatever, with a smile on his face, well, then that's a whole different ball game then, right? And it's bullshit, you know? But obviously that's what this guy does, and she obviously has a meltdown and all that. So I'm doing that to show you the double standard here. I'm also doing this to show you how women, obviously, as you are well aware, can make a mountain out of a molehill to try to get attention. And lastly, as you're going to see in this article, she has what she considers to be a disorder, what the hell is it? Well, you'll see it in a moment. And how nowadays, to no surprise, everybody has a label for everything. You ever notice that? Nowadays, everybody has this. I got anxiety, I got this, I got depression. And certainly in many cases, let me rephrase that, in certainly some cases, people definitely have issues. But it seems like nowadays, people milk it for everything it's worth. Well, I need to be excused from this action or this because I got this label. I got this wrong with me here, this wrong with me there. What a load of shit. Because back in the day, a majority of people did not have these labels that they have now today. And now people use them to get a free pass to behave and act like jackasses. So, and she has it too, and she's going to use it to behave and use it as an excuse for her actions. Or having a meltdown here. So anyhow, I'm going to go through this article, guys. You're going to see the double standard in this, and we'll go from there. So it starts off. My first date with Jordan was moving along seamlessly when out of nowhere he made a strange joke about my appearance. The guy said, "Wow, good thing you don't have anything in your teeth," he said, while I was busy laughing, "because your teeth stick out so much, it's like, whoa." This is what the guy said. Okay, that may come across as kind of mean, but you know what? As you're going to see here, the whole date was they were having a good time, laughing, having fun, and he obviously was smiling and joking around. Well, she has a meltdown over this. But if a woman was poking fun at a guy about his nose or his teeth or anything like that with a smile on her face, that would be considered to be perfectly acceptable. When a guy does it, he is the root of all evil. It's bullshit. She says he imitated what I apparently looked like, something between a piranha and a chipmunk. For most people, this might not have been a big deal. Ding, ding, ding. But for me, someone with a long history of body dysmorphic disorder, there you go, that's the label, it was devastating. I met Jordan on a dating site that my daughter had encouraged me to check out not long after she left for college. She messaged me one afternoon with concern. And her daughter said to her, I'm seeing a lot of selfies of you with the cats. No joke. This is what it says, guys. By the way, she is obviously in her 40s because her daughter's in graduate school, okay? She's in her 40s, long past her prime, so she has no reason to be picky, and you're going to see some pickiness coming out here. Her daughter says, what's going on? Are you going out with your friends and meeting new people? On her next visit home, she helped me set up a dating profile on a dating app. Jordan's profile picture revealed a handsome man with deep hazel eyes and a dark mustache and goatee. He was divorced and now living in Madison, Wisconsin. When he popped in my queue of potential dates after he too swiped right on my profile, we messaged for a few days, and then we made plans to meet at a popular bar restaurant on Madison's west side. I had no sooner agreed to the date than my anxiety kicked in and I began obsessing over my appearance. Dating with body dysmorphic disorder had always been excruciating. Now here we're going to go with this whole definition of what this is about and blah, 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 and the little pity party here, but I'll read it anyway. We'll all learn something here. According to her, defined by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, falls under the category of obsessive-compulsive disorder, specifically a preoccupation with one or more perceived defects or flaws in physical appearance that are not observable or appear slight to others. It is estimated that in the United States, 5 million to 10 million people suffer from this disorder. My BDD, your BDD, my ASS, revolves around my face, specifically my nose, jaw, and teeth. Like other mental illnesses, BDD varies in its severity, affecting everyone differently. Left untreated, it can lead to devastating effects, including anxiety, depression, and thoughts of ending one's life. Okay, so you mean to tell me that, how many people out there are concerned about their appearance? I have never met one woman ever who wasn't insecure about something about her appearance. Not one. But now we're going to make a disorder about this so people can feel better about themselves when they have meltdowns and all that stuff and have an excuse to, be ultra sensitive or hypersensitive and get mad if somebody pokes fun at something about them or whatever. Here we go. She says, through my obsession with my facial defects never ceases to exist completely, it had been at a minimum for the few months preceding my date, giving me enough confidence to say yes to Jordan. In fact, as I got ready to go out, I found myself unexpectedly excited as I dug out my high-waist black pants, new silver silk top, and dangling sequins earrings. Putting on my makeup, I carefully played my eyes with a dusty mauve shadow of blah, blah, blah. This is her getting ready for the date. She says, I must have looked decent enough because I took a selfie and posted it on Facebook just before heading out the door. It's funny in this day and age how with social media, it's kind of like nothing happens unless somebody takes a picture of themselves and puts it on social media. And it's just amazing to me. I have been off social media. I've been off Facebook for 1 year. I got tired of all the drama on there and the politics, people bitching and complaining. I've been on there in a year, and I will not go back. I have like Instagram for business, and I have an Instagram like a personal one, which I've updated in probably over a year. But it's funny to me. It's not real until somebody takes a picture of themselves, a selfie I might add, and posts it on social media for everybody to see. She says, it was a cool March evening when I pulled up to the Bonafide Grill. I saw Jordan as soon as I walked in. He was standing at the bar, gazing intently at the doorway. Our eyes met and he smiled. He was shorter than his pictures revealed, but other than that, he looked much as I'd expected. So already she's being picky about his height, right? She's in her 40s, okay? And obviously has issues. And she's going to be picky about his height? Well, that's not the only thing she's going to be picky about. After a nervous greeting on my part because he appeared calm and confident, we ordered drinks and settled into our conversation. Jordan told me he moved to the U.S. in the early 90s to attend law school. We both had kids, though I only had one, and she was off at graduate school. Jordan had two, a daughter in college who lived nearby, and a young son still at home. I've been hoping to find a future partner who didn't have young kids, but it wasn't a total deal breaker. Picky, picky, picky. It's okay she has a kid, but if he has a kid, then that's an issue. You're in your 40s. You obviously got issues, mental issues, or at least mental issues that you've created yourself. So you don't have you don't have exactly the right to be too picky. But this is the world we're in. It continues. 45 minutes later, I reveled in how well our date was going. So it's going well. Let's just keep that in mind before she has her meltdown. Jordan was gregarious and funny to the point of being entertaining. I was laughing so hard both my stomach and face hurt. He was also passionate conversationalist with a deep voice and British accent that I found uncommonly attractive. Even more endearing was his attentive disposition. He asked me about questions about my work and complimented me on raising my daughter alone as a single mom. So he's doing all these things that women generally say they want on a date. He's making her laugh. They're having a good time. He's got the British accent, which pretty much every woman loves a guy with an accent. He's asking her questions about her. He's interested in her. These are all traits that women look for in guys on dates. So watch what happens. As we relaxed into our second hour and another drink, Jordan inched his bar stool closer to mine. Now facing each other with our knees brushing, he reached out and took my hand. I relished our mutual attraction as we planned for a second date. A moment later, things took a surprising turn for the worse when Jordan made a joke about my teeth. I immediately froze up in shock. Before I could gather myself, he made another joke-like comment about my nose. I tried to play it off, but it was too late. A freight train had been let loose, and it was headed to a deep, dark oblivion. Okay, drama queen. So, this guy, they were having a great time. She admits it right here. She was having a great time. Was all for the second date. And the guy decided to poke some fun at her appearance, which obviously he was joking and playing around, and here we go. Meanwhile, in another situation, if she was poking fun at his appearance and he got upset about it, then he'd be labeled as insecure. Then he'd be labeled with having no confidence, and therefore then, well, we're all the good men. He has no confidence, no second date. See? It's perfectly okay. It's a total double standard. She said, I'd never been on a date with anyone who commented on one of my BDD focus areas. Well, how the hell is he supposed to know? Did you give him a little note card with notes saying, don't make fun of me about this, and little rules and regulations before we start our date? I'm waiting for her to do that. And I had no idea how to respond. In an instant, all the pain in my struggle rushed back to me, and I went into flight mode. Jordan quickly picked up on my change of demeanor and followed with, don't get me wrong, you're cute as hell, but I was already searching for the exit. See, the guy's joking around. But you know what? This is a good thing for the guy. And by the way, guys, this is why I say meet up for a drink. One drink. Because now this dude, I'm going to guess this dude probably paid for the meal. And you think he's getting a second date out of her with her? Nope. Now, that's actually a good thing because then he won't have to deal with her insecure, pain-in-the-ass personality going forward. So this is actually did him a favor. But you see, one drink in the beginning. My struggle with body dysmorphic disorder started decades ago after suffering a mental breakdown at 28. As is common with this disorder, I didn't trust the doctor's diagnosis or recommendations. I didn't need psychotherapy or medication. I needed a plastic surgeon, an orthogenic surgeon, and an orthodontist. The only way to stop the obsessing and mental pain, I believe, was to fix my face. That was the beginning of a long and painful road. So, maybe I'm going to guess that obviously the way she sees herself is completely different way everybody else sees her. But she has her thing, But again, how many people out there see themselves one way, but others see it another? And they are pretty much overreacting and all that. I continued to have severe anxiety and daily obsessiveness for months before I finally agreed to try medication and therapy. A year later, I was no longer having panic attacks, but the obsessions were still strong. I now had depression added to my diagnosis from struggling so long with no reprieve. Unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I became desperate. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to know how much longer I could go on the suffering. The mental pain had become more than I can take. Today's world, guys. Now again, there are certain problems people have that are extreme and all that, and I will say that, but it's like the old boy that cried wolf. Okay, I mean, there's so many people now that have some label, some problem, some disorder. It's like, who doesn't have some label? Well, right here, I don't have some label that I'm going to put on myself and therefore give me an excuse to behave in a certain way or react to things in a certain way to give me a pass. No, bullshit. She says, oh God, here we go. Every day became a fight for survival. Oh, for goodness sake. Drama queen, drama queen, drama queen. Taking all I had to get to work, parent my daughter, and maintain our small household. I began an early morning routine of prayer and spiritual reading. I meditate and visualize myself healthily, happily, and defect-free. I read self-help and BDD recovery books, fervently highlighting passages and going back to those helpful parts regularly. Many of those books became life-saving. I set out to retrain my brain to think different thoughts and put a hard stop to the devastating ones. Slowly, I started to have my good days. Slowly, the fog lifted. And when I finally made it out of the dark 2 years later, I never wanted to go back again. The pain of living, the existential death was worse than living with an imperfect face. Well, I saw a picture of her on the link. You click the link, and okay, she was smiling with her mouth shut, but for her age, she didn't look like something was really going on. Okay, so I don't see what the deal is. I decided it made no difference whether or not I was deformed. What was killing me wasn't the deformities, real or imagined, slight or major, but the meaning I'd applied to them. Jordan was perhaps insensitive and careless in his remarks about my face, but he certainly couldn't have known the weight of his words or the impact they would have on me. But at that moment, staying in his presence was too painful. I ended the date promptly, telling him I had an early morning the next day and needed to call it a night. Oh, for goodness sake. And this dude sounds pretty cool. So she's robbing herself the opportunity to be with guys that are good guys because of this shit, right? But I guarantee you that it'd be perfectly okay if she could poke fun at him. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that this really is like a serious thing that she has and all that stuff. Okay, take action to better yourselves, and don't take these things so personally with a guy who's obviously a good guy and liked her up until this point, was just playing around. He didn't know, but nope. The guy said to her, "Do you still want to get together midweek then?" He asked as I was putting my coat on to leave. "Sure," I responded, knowing I never would. I stopped interacting with Jordan and went back to therapy. She's doing this guy a favor. Absolutely. I'm firm about that. But still, this guy was a good guy to her. He was joking around, obviously. And, it's her loss. It's her loss. She lost a good guy. I guarantee if she would have said, and kind of explained it to him, I guarantee the description of the guy would be like, hey, I didn't mean it that way, and would let it go. Nope. It's easier to go back and I'm not going to date anybody anymore and blah, 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 and all that. It's ridiculous. She says, I stopped interacting with Jordan and went back to therapy. That was over a year ago now, just 2 weeks before the country went into lockdown with the pandemic. Therapy, along with the solitude that quarantine provided, allowed me time to heal and to get my mind back on track. Now as the COVID-19 numbers decrease, and with summer here, I've been thinking about dating again. With so much time alone, I pondered how nice it would be to have a companion, a future partner, love. A few weeks ago, I got back on the dating app and recently swiped right on a man named Matt. Matt is 5 years younger than me, fit, tattooed, and handsome. A military veteran now working as an engineer. He's been sweet and gentlemanly in our messages. We've made plans to meet for lunch on Sunday. Lunch? That's what friends do. I'm not cured of my body dysmorphic disorder and may never be. Further, there is no guarantee the date will go well. Yeah. But what lies ahead of me is a choice. I choose to live, struggles, imperfections, and all. So, now she's going to go back on a date, and God forbid the guy jokes around, makes fun of her or something like that. She's going to have a meltdown. But, at the end of the day, this is an example, guys. We all are masters of our own destiny. Are we going to let some disorder or problem pretty much hold us back from things in life? I mean, she obviously is a single mom. She wants to have, obviously, a guy in her life, and met a cool dude, and he was totally joking. But you saw how she freaked out, had a meltdown, all that, and that guy was toast. And she was doing him a favor because he didn't need that stuff. And nobody wants to be with someone that doesn't have a sense of humor, or if you make a joke, even if they know you're kidding, get so worked up and have like an emotional meltdown inside that you have to watch everything you say. So she needs to get over this stuff and work really hard at it, and that's the only way she's gonna have somebody in her life. But that being said, back to the whole double standard thing, and as I've told you guys before in the beginning of the video, women test all the time. Everything from the things they say to you on purpose to see how you respond, to things like not returning your text till the next day to see if you're going to bombard them with text, or not return your calls, or other things to get a rise out of you, see how you handle yourself. They always do that because they want to make sure you're the strong, masculine guy they hope you are. Okay, women throw these tests at you to test their confidence, and definitely in person on dates, in the first dates especially. poking fun at your shirt, your hat, your sunglasses, your shoes, any number of shit. I'm sure many of you guys have been through it. I've been through it, and eventually you can just see right through this and just laugh it off, and that's the end of it. But God forbid a guy ever pokes fun, not just someone like with her so-called disorder, but also just poking fun at a girl's hair, shoes, clothes. Oh my God, they have a freaking meltdown. But double standard, we all know, but I wanted to point that out. That'd be pretty funny to show you. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below then what you think about this. Let me know, guys, if you've ever been in a situation where, a girl is poking fun at you, obviously testing you to see how you'd respond, and you handled it fine, but then you started poking fun at her hair, her shoes, her clothes. How did that go? Did she get pissed off? Did she have a meltdown? I want to hear about it. Even though she was poking fun at you, that was okay. I want to hear about that double standard. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.